Story 1. Am I the a-hole for not cleaning my sister-in-law after she got sick drunk? Between Christmas and New Year's, me, 43 male, and my wife, 43 female, went to hang out and drink at my sister-in-law's, 32 female house, while her husband, wife's brother, and son went away for a few nights. Basically a normal night. My wife and I went over to keep my sister-in-law company. Played board games, drank, etc. My sister-in-law is very proper, fashionable, basic white girl. Maybe 5'2" and 100 pounds. Anywho, we're in the living room. My wife passes out on the couch, so we decide to call it a night sleeping on the couch. My sister-in-law gets up to go to bed, a little wobbly, but she goes into the bathroom and shuts the door. I play on my phone for about 45 minutes, and I notice she's still in the bathroom. So I knock on the door with no response. I knock a few more times, then open the door to look in. She's a naked pooper. She passed out while pooping, apparently, and fell off the toilet onto the floor. Somewhere in all that, she puked all over herself. So I'm left with a completely naked woman covered in puke, poop, and pee. I try to wake my wife up, but she's out cold. I try to wake my sister-in-law up, but she's out cold. So I grab a bunch of towels, just do a quick cleanup. Get the heavy stuff off of her, clean up the floor, and made her a bed of towels so she didn't have to sleep on the cold tile. Propped her head on a folded towel as a pillow, and used a giant fluffy towel as a blanket. Here's why I'm told I'm an AI hole. She was mad I let her lay in poop puke all night. I should have picked her up and put her in the tub and bathed her. She was passed out drunk. I didn't think she wanted me touching her intimate areas. Where she replied that I have a wife and daughter. I've seen a vagina before, and I've changed my daughter's diapers, baths, so I know how to clean a vagina, butt, breast. She's only 100 pounds, so it would have been easy for me. My wife sides with me, but the other women say that I should have cleaned her better. So am I an a-hole? Would you want someone touching you while you're passed out? Now for the comments. Speaking as a woman, not the a-hole. No freaking way. Could you imagine the implications if you'd bathed a semi-comatose woman on your own? The flack you're getting for this is nothing compared to the alternative trouble and risk. Never mind what your SIL says. Your own and your wife's opinions are the only one that matters. Heck, your relationship could be in jeopardy if you'd bathed her. My wife originally thought I could have done a better job until I explained my side, and then she agreed with me. She thought bath and thought innocent, but didn't really think about how involved I'd have to be in her private areas to get the mess out. I'm sorry, what? Your sister-in-law, who is in her 30s, is mad at you for not giving her a thorough middle-of-the-night bath after she got sloppy drunk? Her rationale is that because you've changed your daughter's diapers that you should be comfortable cleaning a woman's naked body? What? Just, no. You are so not the a-hole. You were kind and considerate for what you did do. It's more than many would. She needs to look long and hard at herself because that expectation is bogus to like insane levels. I'm sure it was gross for her. Maybe she even invited infection for herself, which is unfortunate. But dude, not your job. This is all on her. I would not feel comfortable even drinking with her again because A, she can't handle herself. B, it sounds like she puts herself in danger. And C, she expects you to go to crazy levels to help. Just no. Thank you for your outrage on behalf of OP. I share it. It is crazy balls that a grown woman who drank to the point of passing out is mad at someone for not doing a thorough enough job cleaning biohazards off of her dumb body. Shake my head. Not the AI hole. You helped her as well as you could while still respecting she's a grown woman. You aren't married to who may be uncomfortable with you bathing her. It wasn't like she was awake and coherent to ask if she needed help. I wouldn't like waking up covered in my own filth either. But the difference is, I'd know it was my own fault for drinking to the point of passing out and not blame my brother-in-law for not cleaning me up. Ugh. As a woman, if I'm dumb enough to crap myself naked and vomit all over myself, I'd be very grateful to be put in the recovery position so I didn't die and completely horrified if someone took it upon themselves to wash my bum while I was unconscious, let alone bathe me. You get that drunk diaper rash is the consequence. Not the a-hole. Who are the other women weighing in on your comatose poopy pee-pee story? 2 other sisters-in-laws and mother-in-law. Her brothers find it hilarious. Not the AI hole. Geez, you can't win. You think being respectful of her nudity and vulnerable state whilst caring for her makes you a gentleman. She should maybe be accountable for being so drunk she passed out whilst vomiting and pooping and slept in it. Absolutely do not take this on. Story 2. Am I the a-hole? 25 female, 28 male. Friend said I don't care about him because I didn't message him for a day. Our friendship has been on and off for 7 to 8 years now. Lately, I feel like I have no space or time to myself. Every morning he is messaging me at 7 a.m. We went on a trip together to Amsterdam. He said if I wasn't there, he would have went to one of the prostitutes in the red light district, but he didn't want to leave me alone. That in itself I found a bit desperate. Then that night, he was walking around his hotel room in his boxers around me, and I felt uncomfortable. We have been trips abroad before, but this time he was acting differently. I can't explain. I also caught him trying to go through my phone and read texts when he thought I was sleeping. He messaged me a few days after the trip saying his mental health is really bad. He wants time to himself to be left alone, so I told him if he wanted to talk, I would listen, but that I respect his decision. I was kind of glad. The same day, he sent me 6 messages which I never responded to because I was giving him space. He had a go at me. His words were, "I feel like you don't want to talk to me anymore, and I'm in no place mentally to be dealing with that. I won't delete you off anything, but I'm not messaging." He also said, "Don't ask how he is," when I literally told him I was there if he wanted to talk, and 3x then said, "This is the reason I don't tell people my mental health is bad. Feel everyone judges me." I told him he was being unreasonable, telling me to go away, then continuously messaging me, and he still continues to send me random messages. I feel it's not fair him taking his moods out on me when I didn't answer him for a day because I was busy with work. I feel bad because if someone genuinely is suffering with their mental health, I want to support them. Ignoring him feels bad, but the way he is treating me is bad. I feel like he's trying to blame me for his own mental health and he's becoming overbearing now. TLDR. Am I the a-hole for ignoring my friend when he says his mental health is bad? But he continuously told me to leave him alone and has been acting kind of creepy and obsessive? Or should I be doing more to help with his mental health? Is it really my place to fix someone? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole and query. Is your friend straight? Because if he is looking for far more than friends. Even if he's not, his invasion of your privacy and demands over your responsiveness are huge red flags. I told him he was being unreasonable, telling me to go away, then continuously messaging me, and he still continues to send me random messages. I feel it's not fair him taking his moods out on me when I didn't answer him for a day because I was busy with work. Your instincts are bang on the money. He is expecting you to somehow magically know when he wants space, yet to respond instantly, he messages you. Big nope out of that. Start drawing some boundaries. Tell him outright that he does not have your permission to look at your personal private messages on your phone, ever, and that you will respond when you are able. This includes feeling ready, not just able in a practical sense, being free from work, etc. If he is in crisis, he needs to call the professionals or whatever charity in your area, Samaritans in UK, can help. You are not an emergency service or his emotional support animal. His mental illnesses are not his fault. They are his responsibility to manage, not yours. You can't fix anyone except yourself, and no one has the right to expect you to. Spot on. His mental issues are not his fault, but are his responsibility to manage constructively, and it seems he's using them as a crutch for some truly skeevy behavior. Tread lightly around this one OP. Hopefully he gets things sorted, but that's on him to do the work. I also caught him trying to go through my phone and read texts when he thought I was sleeping. Massive, massive red flag. Is it really my place to fix someone? No, it's not. Not the a-hole. This sounds like the kind of guy who's going to threaten suicide if you cut him off. But if he's actively doing creepy crap that makes you uncomfortable, you need to do it for your own safety and well-being. Not the a-hole, but darling, he's emotionally manipulative. He's treating you like you are in a romantic relationship, Only you are expected to act like a loving partner and he can do whatever he wants. It's time to delete him and realize your time is precious. Spend it with people who respect you. You're his friend, not his therapist. And even his therapist will have boundaries. They're not going to drop another patient to answer his texts right now. If he needs someone to be by his side at all times right now, someone who is willing to drop everything immediately to reassure him that he matters, he needs to be in the hospital where they are equipped for that. He's important to you, might even be your most important person, but you need to take care of yourself too. Maybe that's going to work so you can pay your bills. Maybe it's watching a movie uninterrupted so you can unwind and have capacity to hear and help with his problems. You are not responsible for managing his mental health, he is. Support him as you can, but he has to carry the weight of his own recovery. Not the AI hole. You have no obligation to fix someone. Sounds like he's a little interested in you, and you are not returning the vibe that there is something beautiful growing between the two of you. Happens incredibly often in male-female friendships. Just look at this prostitute remark. That is literally saying that you are withholding sex from him. As for the topic title, tell your dumbass friend that he is right. Without sending obligatory texts every day, people don't care about each other. In the old days, only people who could write a letter could care about one another. Illiterates did not care about anyone. When the telegraph was invented, people could care more often, but it was expensive. Thank the stars for WhatsApp. Now humanity can finally care about one another. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for resenting my mom because she keeps spoiling my older brother who's 28 and still depends on her? I, 23 female, feel like the villain in my own family because I've grown to resent my mom for the way she enables my older brother, 28 male. To put it bluntly, he has never had his life together. He dropped out of college after 2 years because it wasn't for him. And since then, he's bounced between part-time jobs and passion projects that never go anywhere. My mom, bless her heart, thinks he's just a late bloomer and continues to baby him. She pays for his rent, his car maintenance, his groceries, and even random cheap or luxury things. He needs to clear his mind. Meanwhile, I've been working part-time since I was 16, put myself through school with scholarships and loans, and now I have a steady job. Whenever I try to bring up how unfair it is, my mom tells me, he's going through a lot, or he just needs some time. I can't even count how many times I've heard, you don't understand, he's your brother, family helps family. But it feels like I'm being punished for being responsible. I still live at home to save money while I pay off my student loans, and I have to chip in for groceries and utilities. Yet my mom has never once asked my brother to contribute a cent, even when he was living at home last year. It's reached the point where I avoid being around them together because I feel this bubbling anger whenever I see how much she coddles him. And when I do try to talk about my feelings, she either gets defensive or guilt trips me by saying things like, I just wish you'd be more understanding of how hard his life has been. A few days ago, my mom told me she's taking out a loan to help him start his own business, which, let's be real, will probably flop like his other ideas. I snapped and said, maybe if you stopped treating him like a child, he'd finally grow up. She started crying and told me I was being mean and ungrateful for all she does for both of us. Now I feel awful for making her cry, but I also feel like I'm at my breaking point. So, am I the a-hole for hating the way my mom enables my brother? Now for the comments, not the AI hole. Mom initiated the talk and got an honest and probably correct reply. She's setting up her golden boy for failure in life. Yeah, exactly, and taking a loan to help him will financially ruin her, not the a-hole. Although you living at home make your position for dishing out this lesson a little worse, she needed to hear it. Because she is making a huge mistake with your brother. But if I was you, I'd move out as soon as possible so you don't need to see it anymore. And I'd stop contributing to the household and see what happens. If they complain, you can always ask why you should pay when your brother have never done it. And be happy for one thing. You have learned to be an adult, and no one can take that away from you. When you move away, you can take care of yourself. Your brother, unless he changes, will never do that, and will be dependent on his mom for the rest of her life. And after your parents die? Well, who knows what happens, but it's not your problem. Soon you will hopefully be having a career, perhaps a family, and unless your parents change, you should have no obligation to have any more interaction with them than you want. And if they ask why, tell them they can be with your brother instead. Not the a-hole. It's completely understandable to feel frustrated when you've worked hard to become independent, and your brother is coddled despite not putting in the same effort. Your mom's enabling behavior is unfair to you, and it's okay to feel upset. You're not attacking your brother, but the way your mom is treating him like a perpetual child while you're expected to be responsible is a huge double standard. You have every right to express how you feel, even if it hurts her. Not the a-hole. Your mom needs to stop treating your brother like a helpless child and start treating you like the responsible adult that you are. It's not fair for you to constantly pick up the slack while your brother gets everything handed to him. Not the a-hole. I think you're right on some of it and wrong on a little. You are absolutely seeing your brother being favored over you, over and over and over again in very clearly measurable ways. And every time you are reminded of that, it feels like you aren't loved the way he is loved, and that's awful and legitimately destructive. And your mom just doesn't acknowledge that. She points at how hard his life has been, except that from this post, I have no idea what she means. But they are actually helping you too. You living at home and only chipping in for groceries and utilities is a good deal. It's helping you. Your parents are not punishing you. They just aren't coddling you to the extent they coddle your brother. Not the a-hole. Honestly, your mom needs someone to point out to her that a chunk of the reason why her son is failing is because he knows mommy will always cover him. She thinks she's helping him, but she's enabling his terrible choices and failures because she's given him no motivation to do better, and every motivation not to bother trying. She might have the best of intentions, but the road to hell is paved with them. I understand being fed up with it because when she's asking you to contribute, she's also asking you to fund his failures. If she gets a loan, she'll have a monthly payment that won't be able to go towards the household bills, so you'll have to cover the difference. It means you have to fund her enabling him, all whilst being the least favored child. It also sucks to be the kid doing everything right and get pushed aside because the failure needs mommy to look after him. Your mom thinks if she loves and coddles him enough, she'll be able to fix him. Instead, she's making it more and more likely that he'll never do anything except come mooching to mommy for money. I imagine she'd argue against that point, but you didn't have the same treatment and you're succeeding, so maybe, just maybe, that's proof she's effing up. She's hurting you and your brother both with her favoritism, and she's too busy thinking that her propping up your brother makes her a perfect mum to consider how wrong she is. When she does pass, what does she think will happen to him? Does she think you'll step up in her place? Or does she just want him to flounder because he has no idea how to cope in the world and take care of himself without her?
Thank you for listening. If you like the video, consider like and subscribe. If you want more stories like these, turn on your notification to receive the latest stories.